Hi, this is Jesse with Beyond the Dungeon Comics and Games. We're located in Spring, Texas, just north of Houston. Today I'm going to be discussing Doctor Strange Damnation #1. This is actually the back cover. This is something Marvel is doing currently. So they have the special cover is a full bleed, so the full cover is taken up. On the back, you get to see the information. It's a variant cover. This one is done by one of the Young Guns. Marvel does this every once in a while. The 2018 Young Guns. One of them is Javier Garron. I hope I'm saying that correct. Javier Garron. It's a fantastic cover, as you can see. You got Doctor Strange doing Doctor Strangeness. It's really cool. Pretty in depth. I totally love it. It is rated T for teen. But honestly, it's not terribly. It's not too PG-13. So basically, what happens here is common fiend or foe, if you will, of Doctor Strange, Mephisto, rears his ugly head. But turns out it's not Mephisto's fault. He's punishing the wicked. But for some reason, the wicked have come to him. So it's as if he has the power to punish everyone in all of New York City. So here at Beyond the Dungeon, we rate comics with the cap system. So
Cap?
Capes system. The cape system.
I was going to say, explain capes to us.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's not.
It's so cheesy. So the cape system is C for cover, A is for art, P is for pacing, E is for experimentation, and S is for overall story. So we'll start with the cover. This cover is actually very good. Reason why I rate comic based on the cover is that's the first thing that anyone sees. Be the someone who's never read before, the average customer, the hardcore collector. It doesn't matter. They're going to look at the cover. This cover is pretty representative of Doctor Strange. You have him in somewhat of an action pose. You kind of see some of the stuff he normally does. He's casting a spell there. You even have the eye up there. It's very well done. The art is pretty good. Very good job, Javier Garron. Gotta say, love it. Love it. So, in this situation, we're going to give Damnation a high rating. We have a scale of 1 torch being terrible and 4 torches being amazing. Javier Garron, you get 4 torches for your cover. The reason why we look at the cover is often you'll see that they'll put something totally unrelated to the story on the cover. I won't mention anything, but recently there might have been a Darth Vader, I don't know, where you see Darth Vader in an amazing pose on the cover and you never see him do any of that in the story. Nowhere in the book. Or it'll be about, say it was Doctor Strange, but instead of Doctor Strange on the cover, you'll have Thor. I personally think that is problematic, and it leads the potential reader down the wrong path. So cover is important. Secondly, art. Look at this art. Oh my goodness. This is really, really good. It's really good art, in fact. Shading's nice. It kind of draws you in. The art itself draws you in. This is kind of key because you're trying to, not only are you reading a story like you would be normally reading a book, but you're also being drawn in. And I mean, this pulls you. Just look at that. Just pulls you in. You can tell this great color, shading, background, and even some of the positions and poses that the characters have action to them. That's an important thing too. This is why art's important. It's not just because you're like, cool, he's a good artist, he draws good, he colors well, he inks well. It's about putting life and animus into the pages that you're reading. I mean, Black Panther, they look at him. He's being told, you can tell he's like, whatever. That's amazing. That's good art. Definitely 4 torches on the art. Also, it might seem unimportant, but in comics, you kind of want a rhythm. So that's P for pacing. I feel like if a comic has kind of almost a beat to it, you're reading it, not quite iambic pentameter, it's not poetic, but it feels like I've read this. There's motion to the story. It doesn't build slowly and then just stop mid sentence, mid book, or at the very beginning. It just takes so long to draw you in. This has pretty good pacing. It beats along at the very beginning. Oh, you're reading. Oh my goodness, climax, boom, next story. So this book has very good pacing. We'd also give it probably three torches out of 4. Just because it gets a little bumpy when they're trying to explain why Mephisto is here. 4th is experimentation. So while that might seem like a weird thing to say, because comic books to a lot of people already seem experimental and unusual, what is challenging is you have some famous character like Doctor Strange, and you have to maintain this sort of sense of Doctor Strange. What is Doctor Strange? Who's Doctor Strange that's been around for generation after generation? He's not a totally new Doctor Strange. He's not a strange Doctor Strange. But you still have to kind of bend the edges, make him slightly different. Otherwise, he's not your own. Like right now, as being written by Don Cates, is very, very good lately. It's made Doctor Strange really, really good because he's been able to kind of bend the edges, blur the lines for what Doctor Strange can do. And in this book, it's very good because they have been putting Doctor Strange in the position of authority. This is probably why we're going to see him in a new movie coming out. I don't know. Maybe it's Infinity. I don't know. But it's going to be really good. And you can tell that Doctor Strange, he's hanging out with Avengers, spoiler alert, in this book. And he's taking a position next to Black Panther of authority. That's kind of unique for Doctor Strange. So this is very good on experimentation just on that line. Secondly, they're putting Mephisto, who is unknown to a lot of readers, who's a supernatural being, just kind of like, cool, he's a villain we know everything about. That takes guts for a writer to throw someone like Mephisto right into the mix, which they did in this story. So I think experimentation-wise, this book is great. 4 torches for sure. And then finally, on the Cape scale is story. While I said all these wonderful things about it, the story is okay. I won't say mediocre, but that's the first thing that comes to mind, because Doctor Strange has dealt with Mephisto before. While Mephisto is handling things very different than normally, it still seems like the typical banter of Mephisto versus Doctor Strange. It's kind of goofy, somewhat Batman jokery at times, not the dark Joker, but the goofy Joker. Just kind of almost tongue-in-cheek. And while I'm not hating on that, and it's a good way to introduce someone who's not familiar with Doctor Strange to Doctor Strange, it feels hackneyed and it's been done before. So probably going to give it only, I don't know, 2.5 to 3 torches. I'm going to say 2. 2 torches. Kind of disappointed in the overall story, Don. Anyway, definitely check out some of the other Young Gun titles. I can't remember. We've got 4 different Young Guns coming out. It's Javier Garron, and I should probably remember the rest, and I don't. I'll put it in the comments. So on the Cape scale, cover, 4 torches. Art, 4 torches. Pacing, 3 torches. Experimentation, 4 torches. Story, 2 torches. So that's an overall, I can't do math. It's about 7.5. So we'll just say overall an average of probably 4 torches. It's maybe 3.5. Let's say it's a 3.5 torch book, if we're going to go there. It's pretty good. Definitely check it out. Again, this is Jesse with Beyond the Dungeon. We're in Spring, Texas. You can like us, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, and all the other social media whatnot, because we're all whores after all. Thank you. Have a good night.